But I'm in my last day of quarantine and I just had to go get my follow-up COVID test. So I just wanted to tell you my experience because it was a little different from Unique's. Um, and just tell you what I went through. So when I first got here, when I got off the airplane, they kind of have it sectioned off. So when you're getting off, unless you have like someone that's specifically picking you up, you have to stay in this small little area. And you sign up for a van to go whichever place you're going. And it has signs like, oh, these are the names of these vans going here. So I ended up having to wait like maybe 3 hours at the airport before I got on a van to come to my area. And when the lady, first of all, the lady was just like, the bus come at this time, stay over here and just wait. So I sat right in front of the little station where I signed up to get on the van, and I just waited there the whole time. So then they were like, okay, the van's here, come on, let's go, everybody who's getting on this van. And then we got to the van. She was like, where's your ticket? And I was like, you didn't give me no ticket. What ticket? You just told me to sit here and wait. I've been sitting here this whole time. You didn't see me go anywhere. Well, I did go around the little seating area to one of the restaurants that were open because I was going to like maybe get some food. But I looked at the menu and was like, I don't think I want to eat this. I ended up buying maybe a bottle of water just because it was a long time. And I wanted to make sure that I had something to drink because I didn't know what was happening next. So she's like, oh, sorry. So we had to walk all the way back to the entrance for me to buy a ticket. And then I got on the bus. So the bus ride was pretty long. So I slept. I was asleep the whole time, and everyone is like sitting uh, either like back cross, like crisscross seating. So like if I'm here, then this is the next row behind me. The person was sitting on this side. So it's kind of like sitting zigzag almost. And we got to our destination. It was like a facility. And when you got off when you, no, first we got to one stop and they took everybody off the bus and told them they were getting on another bus. And then they just had us stand under this little tent with our luggage, and it was pouring down rain and messed up my hair. It don't look that bad because I kind of like zhushed it. But we stand there with our luggage and we get on another bus, which takes us to the facility. So we arrive to the facility, it's like midnight, and they put everybody off and they have these little yellow tape lines for families to stand social distancing. So when we're standing out there waiting to go in the facility one group, they like spray all your luggage down with some disinfectant, and then there's like this fog machine in front of the door. So before you can go into the door, you have to go to this little fog machine and like fog sanitize your whole body, your shoes, your feet, your legs, everything. So then you go into the facility, and then they have this little room with like these little desk and one chairs that are like it looked like a classroom, and a spaced out classroom. And then you go in and you sign, you put your name and like where you came from and where you're going. Are you doing self quarantine and stuff like that? And then you take it to the table with your passport and your quarantine card that they give you at the airport, and then they check everything, and then they give you a room key and tell you to go to a room. So you go to this empty room, and they're like, but because it was midnight, they're like, you're going to come down at 8 in the morning to take COVID test, and then you probably won't be able to leave till like 3 p.m. the next day. So I'm like, okay, I understand. So you go to this room, it has TV. It's like a hotel room. It has a bathroom, a TV, and some beds. So I think I have a video. I may insert the video if I have it, but it's just a hotel room. So I finally take a shower. They gave me like some kind of pastry bread. It was like a little bread, and it had like strawberry cream on the inside. And then they gave a big thing of water and like some little snacks. And so I ate some of that stuff, and then I just laid down and went back to sleep. I turned on the TV and found some background noise, and then I went back to sleep. And then the next morning, I woke up pretty early because I had been sleeping most of the day because I've been traveling. And I woke up maybe around 7 or so, and I got up and got dressed and got ready to go down at 8 o'clock. And then someone came and knocked on my door, and there was food out there around 7:30. So I ate some of the food, and I'll insert the picture here, or the video here. And that's what they gave us for breakfast. And then at 8 o'clock, there was an announcement thing on the PA, but it was in Korean, so I didn't know what they were saying. But I knew the lady told me at 8 o'clock it was time to go downstairs. But then she came and knocked on the door and was like, come on. So 8 o'clock on the dot, everybody goes downstairs, and you go back to the little classroom looking spot, and you sit and wait for them to call your name. They called me. I was like the maybe third person in the line when they started doing the testing. And so then you come out of the classroom and go back outside, and there's like the yellow tape sectioners, and you wait till it's your turn. It was really quick, like maybe not even maybe like 2 minutes, I guess, not even 2 minutes. And they put this little. It didn't look like the regular like cotton swabs or whatever you want to call it. It's some kind of little stick looking, not like a stick, but it's like this thing, and it has like, it looks almost kind of like a really tiny micro, the thing you use to clean the baby bottles with. It looks like a little brush thing on the tip, maybe like an eyebrow pencil or something. I don't know. But they put that in your nose, and then they twist it a little bit, and he didn't put it that far in my nose the first time, so it kind of, I felt it, and I was like, ooh. And then he takes the regular swab, like when you get a drug test for work, and he swabbed my mouth, and then he puts it in the little tube thing, and then you can go. So then they say, go back to your room, just go back to your room. So I go back to my room. I'm sitting there just watching TV, playing on my phone and stuff, because it did have Wi-Fi, and it did have Wi-Fi, had TV. So I watched movies on my computer, I think. And then at around maybe 12 or so, they brought lunch, which here's the video of the lunch. Okay, so lunch comes in these 3 different containers. We have, again, some soup. I'm not really sure. I think it's like seaweed or something. I didn't eat the one earlier that I showed you guys, but I am going to eat that one because it looks good. And I think I like seaweed. In this white box, again, there's rice. And then this is like the other box of things. So what's in here, that looks like cucumber. That kind of like the zucchini I had earlier. That looks like some peppers. I don't know what's in there, but that looks like an egg, and it's really small. And that looks like some kind of, that's probably some kind of pork and beef. Of course, that right there that I didn't eat this morning, I'll probably taste it. And then this looks like a piece of chicken and a piece of fish, and then some tomatoes. So that is what, this is what we're having for lunch today. And this was delivered by the facility that I'm at. And so after lunch, which I had a couple hours still, I just continued watching movies and kind of made sure my stuff was packed up, so when they said let's go, I was ready to walk out the door. So because I was already dressed from going to take my COVID test. So at exactly 3 o'clock, they came and knocked on the door. She was like, you can go. And so then we go downstairs, get all of my stuff and go downstairs, and then there's a van there, no, there's like a bus, and the man, he comes to you, the bus driver comes and gives you some gloves, and he sprays all of the bags and put them under the bus, and then he asks everybody to go through the disinfectant fogger machine. And then when you get on the bus, he made sure everyone was sitting like 1.5 seats behind each other. So like, if you're on a bus, you have this row of seats, then there's a row, then there's a row. So someone may be sitting here on this row, then an empty row, then this row, and they're sitting on this side. So still that zigzag seating, but now he's like kind of skipping a row or so. And we take this bus to a different look. It was like a stadium, actually. They took us to like a stadium, and when we got to the stadium, it was 6 people. It was like, yeah, it was like 6 or 7 people on this bus. And when we got to the stadium, they separated us into 2 cars, um, 2 like van cars, and took us to our apartments or wherever. When we were riding, I was looking around because I was like, oh, what, I haven't been outside. And when I got to the area the first time, it was nighttime, so I couldn't really see anything. And so I didn't know who we was dropping out first or what was going on. There was one guy in the van who spoke English, and he kind of was speaking with me a little bit. And then I ended up getting dropped off first. And so I came up to my apartment, which I'm in now, which I will do an apartment tour next video. And I've been here for 14 days, just inside teaching online and cooking and lollygagging for 14 days. It's been okay. The time went by pretty quickly because I did a lot of classes online. So I was like up at 6 a.m. doing classes till like, well, I had breaks in between, but I ended up finishing classes maybe like 11, 10:30. And then I would usually go to bed or may take a nap, and in between cooking, I had a full day, and then it was going. And I had like a liaison, I guess you would call it, someone that works in my school who's been bringing me like food and water and things and checking on me if I need anything. So she's been very helpful and everything. So that was good. Also, like I think Unique mentioned, you have to download this app where every like maybe 2 or 3 times a day, sometime it depends, you have to put in your symptoms, like, do you have a fever, do you have this, and check your temperature. And they bought me this old school thermometer thing, which the one that you put under your tongue. And I was like, this doesn't look new, and I don't know. So like I use it sometimes, but every time I use it, I felt very uncomfortable. So I would also use my watch, which can also take my temperature, and they were matching up. So I just started using my watch, and alternating, and I would double check between both sometimes just to be safe. And so today, I get out of quarantine tomorrow at noon. So today, they took me to the hospital to do another COVID test, and it was an ambulance that came to pick me up. So when I went downstairs, I thought it was just a regular van, and there might have been other people in the car. So I mean, he was speaking to me in Korean. I was like, what? And but then when he opened the door, I saw that it was like an ambulance because it had the stretcher and all the little medical stuff. So I get in. He's driving pretty crazy. So I'm like, ooh, honey, I haven't been outside in like 13 days, honey. And I'm getting in this van, and you like, skirt, skirt. I'm like, dude, what's going on here? Calm down. Like, you in a rush? I mean, I ain't in a rush because I ain't got nothing else to do. I took the day off because I didn't know. The man told me between 8 and 2 p.m. So I was like, well, no point in going to doing online classes because I don't want any red marks on my um, record because I got things to do. So we get to the hospital, and it's like this outside setup where they have like these benches, and then they have like these tents, and then they have like this, like, you know how when you were in like maybe elementary school or middle school, and they had the little van where come the dentist van or something. It looked like some kind of little lab van with like, it like a trailer. That's what it looked like. A trailer with a few doors on it. So he tells me to sit down. He goes into the little trailer, and he comes back, and then this lady comes in a full little suit. That's something else I didn't mention. When you're at the airport, they have on like these full hazard suits, okay? And then, at the facility, some people had on hazard suits, and some people just had on glove and mask. I guess the volunteers only had on glove and mask, and then they had on the face shields and stuff. And then at the hospital, they didn't have on like hazard suits, but they had on like the surgery jacket coat thing, the blue ones that are long, and it had on the little boot thing, the little feet covers and gloves and everything where their whole body is technically covered. So anyway, the lady comes and she gives me like the little package that has the little toothpicks and stuff in it where they're gonna do the test. And then and she tells me to wait. Then another lady comes and said, "Come on," and she takes me around the corner to the back of the trailer. Now, when I get to the back of the trailer, there's a man in a box, like a clear glass box, and he has his hand. You know, like if you ever seen like a show or something where the baby is in an incubator and then you don't want you to breathe or anything on it, and they have you put your hands in the sleeve, and then you can like move your hands around and stuff. He's in his box with this little hole, these two armholes, and he has on some like yellow gloves, like the cleaning gloves, and then he has another like white clear glove on top of that, and he has his hand sticking out. And he's like, "Come here," and you have to go up these like you step on these like 2-layer steps, and you step up to the window, and he's like, "Okay, take your mask off, put your face up to the thing." Now this time, when he took the one that go in your nose that kind of look like it has a little brush on the end and stuff. This time he puts that up my nose so far. He's put it up so far, my eyes started watering. And I started like to tense my face up. I was like, "Dude, what is you doing?" And he just like pushes it up, and he's turning it and turning it, and it's like far. Like I'm like, my eyes are closed, they're watering. I'm like, "Is that my brain? Like what are you?" That's too. It was far, okay. And then like I said, last time they just swab your mouth and whatever. But this time he takes out a toothpick, like not a toothpick, a popsicle stick, the big thick popsicle stick. And he's like, I mean, come on, I'm not stupid. When you take out a popsicle stick, they want you to hold your mouth open. They trying to help hold your tongue down. So I was like, okay. So he's like gesturing to me to open my mouth and stick my tongue out. So I'm like, let me just try to do this the quickest, easiest way. So I put my tongue out, and I'm like, ah. He's like, "Put your head back." I'm like, ah, whatever. And he takes the cotton whatever, and he's like, he don't even swab my mouth or anything. He goes straight down to my esophagus. So he's like, has this stick in my mouth, and I'm like I'm trying to like be cool because my tongue is out. There's a popsicle stick on my tongue. Then there's this other thing that's in the back of my throat. And I'm like choking, I'm gagging. I'm like, this is not cool. So I'm just trying to be like, hurry up. I'm like trying to follow directions so I don't have to do it again. And he's like, okay. And he puts both of them in this little cup thing, and he tells me to put my mask on, and he tells me I can go. So when I come back around the corner, I don't know. Nobody gave me any instructions. Nobody said, okay, go sit here and you need to wait. No one said, okay, you can go home. But then the little ambulance guy who dropped me off, he's in the van. He's like, "Hey, Kristen, come on. You finished?" I was like, I did the test, but I don't know. He's like, "Let's go." So I get back in the van. He brings me back to the apartment. And again, he's driving crazy. He done turned on the little siren thing so he can make a U-turn, and then he turns it off so he can speed down the road, and he's like zooming. I was like, honey, just keep me safe. Give me safety, Lord. So then now I'm back in my apartment making this video. So overall, quarantine has been okay. I mean, I've just been working and eating and watching movies. I like my apartment. I've been talking to my family and Unique, of course. And yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, when I get out of quarantine, I will go walk around my area and show you what's going on. See y'all soon. This is Kris. Y'all know UniqueTravels.tv. We out here in South Korea. And stay posted.